What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy, Something. Hit the keys. Here today with a quick demonstration over telephone by Killshot and Pirate Music. Quick disclaimer, Killshot is the sponsor of today's video, but no worries, they won't see the video until you see the video. So what is telephone, you may ask? Let's hop over to the website. Telephone is basically a telephone effect in which you can add all kinds of different effects, from dynamics to reverbs to delays to echoes to flangers, all kinds of stuff with different modeled telephone, you know what I'm saying, EQ curves, which is pretty solid. In case you don't know who Killshot actually is management for Kodak Black. So he uses this plugin on Kodak Black's ad-libs, and he also does production and stuff like that for Key Glock. So he's pretty legit. So let's go ahead and hop into FL Studio and check this thing out a little bit more. As we hop into FL Studio, this is what it's going to look like when you open it up. Like I said before, it's got all kinds of different controls that you can go through. You've got different telephone EQs that you can go through and stuff like that. You can take that off if you want to and just use, you know what I'm saying, a flat EQ curve. It's also got a whole bunch of other stuff here, like you've got EQ, you've got drive, you've got a compressor, you've got saturation. Then down here in the reverbs, you've got chamber reverb, you've got a shimmer, and you've got a plate reverb. You've got this choral section right here. And in this section, this does a lot of stuff to just make the vocals sound super funky. So you've got chromatic and aura. And then you've got modulations down here too. So you've got different kind of modulations. And then you have different kinds of like ring modulation, tape modulation, and then you have this echo modulation. So you have a lot of different stuff that you can mess with in this plugin. They say that it is mainly for vocals, but I use this on everything. So I'm going to play the little track that I put together. I'm gonna play the whole track so you guys can hear it, because I used it on the chorus and stuff too. It's not a full track, but you know what I'm saying? I'll start it at the chorus and then I'll just let it go. And then I'll play it through, you know, this part of the chorus. I don't normally do ad-libs on my track, so I just made up a chorus this morning. So it's not like the normal chorus I make, because y'all know I don't really do ad-libs like that. But I did use telephone on everything. It's the only effect I used on all the sounds. So it's not all the way mixed down as always, but let's go. Yeah. I'm from when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right, when kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right, but Mace would change some shit if he could look at it in hindsight. I rhyme tight without the gems and jewels, still I shine bright. My rhymes like somebody hit you swiftly with a spine strike. Live on the scene like I'm reporting from the crime site, addicted to this music like a cokehead trying to find white. Get on the track, speak my piece, Megger Everett. Yeah, I'm staying high like I sleep on Mount Everest. Still the same nigga eating bacon and some cheddar grits. If rapping was a sport, varsity, where's my letter, bitch? Telling them see if he wants some, he better spit. And I'ma let him know something on some better shit. Spit fire hot like July in a sweater gets. I do this shit here to teach these young niggas some etiquette. I spit flows in the spot. These hoes know mine. It shows what I got. Big bro when I box. I spit flows in the spot. These hoes know mine. It shows what I got. Big bro when I box. All right, guys, so that's the little demo track that I put together for you guys today. That verse is probably like 12 years old, but I wanted to wrap something on here. So let's go ahead, hop back into the mixer. I'm going to start over here, though, in the chorus, and we're going to kind of go through how I use this plugin to get the sounds that I did on all of my stuff. So let's just go ahead and start right off here with this piano. So before I threw telephone on there, I guess I can pull this up and push bypass. This is what the piano sounded like. All right, now when I turn this bypass on, I got it to sound like this. So I thought that made a huge difference in the beat to me. So I should have said this too. When you come over here into the settings window, there's different things that you can control. So you can check for updates. There's about to be a huge update coming soon. I forgot to mention that this is $39 currently on sale. And when you go to the website, the coupon code is at the top of the website for you to put in. You can also change the background on the phone. So, you can do like fire, you know what I'm saying? You can do like light, you can do galaxy, you can do all kinds of stuff on this to change the background and make the background whatever it is that you want to work with. So we're going to leave it on just dark for now, because that's typically what it's on. We'll close this up and we'll get back to what we're doing. So as we see here on this, with this piano, again, it sounded like this. So what I did with this is basically I used this telephone right here, but we can go through this and you can hear the other telephones too real quick. So this is what the other telephone effect is going to sound like. And so this is what it sounds like with no telephone effect on there. So you can see the telephone effect is making a pretty big deal. And then with the rest of the stuff, I threw some reverb on here. So I threw a chamber reverb on here. I threw some aura on here. And I think I threw a little bit of chromatic on there too. And then with the modulations, like I said, I didn't put any echo on there. I didn't put any ring modulation, and I didn't put tape modulation. But let's see what these sound like if I did turn it on. So that's pretty cool, as you guys can see. I will go ahead and turn that tape mod air back down a little bit. We'll turn it off right now. And then the next sound that I used this on was this guitar right here. So this guitar sounded like this initially. I'll just turn it on, you'll hear the difference. So that right there sounds fire. I think that did a lot for that guitar and this beat for me. And then I also used it a little bit here on this ARP sound that I had. I also have it here on this ARP sound. So again, I'm gonna have it on bypass and then I'll just turn it on and you'll hear it. So when you're listening to all three of these sounds, I'm gonna let you hear what it sounds like without the telephone on there, and then once I turn it on, you'll hear the difference. Completely changed that up and made it sound super wavy in my opinion. So I like that. I also used it on the 808 too. So on the 808, the 808 sounded pretty tame before I threw it on there. So it sounded like this, and you'll hear what it sounds like when I turn it on. So it added some beef to that 808, and that's what I'm saying is you can use this for everything, especially because it's got saturation and drive on it, which is good for drums and 808s. And then with the drums, I didn't really do much with it on the drums. I did put it on a bus just to see what it was going to sound like, but then I didn't end up putting it into the beat. So I'm going to let you hear kind of what it sounds like initially, and then I'm going to let you hear what it sounds like afterwards. So let's go ahead and hit bypass. So you can hear there how it changed up the sound of the drums. I also use this on my vocals. So the only thing I used on my vocals was this. I know this is more for like ad libs and stuff like that, but I just chose to use it on the actual vocal because I was like, why not? You know what I'm saying? We'll just mix the whole vocal with this. So in the vocal, let's pull that up real quick. In the vocal, um, before I threw telephone on anything, the vocal sounded like this. And I'm just gonna click on these down here at the bottom and turn it on.
From when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right. But Mace would change some shit if he could look at it in hindsight. I rhyme tight. Without the gems and jewels, still I shine bright.
So on this with that vocal, I ended up not using the tape effect, obviously, because for my vocal, you know, I'm like a boom bap rapper, so I just wanted the vocals to come through. But I did add some drive. So here, let me turn off these other two real quick. And let's bypass this, and you're gonna hear what it does to this vocal.
From when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right. But Mace would change some shit if...
So you can hear how it gave the vocal that boost. I didn't really go too hard with the compressor or anything on this because I just didn't. But I would, to be honest, I would probably use a different compressor just because, you know, it'd be a little more detailed. But the EQ is fine because you have like 6 bands and everything. So you know what I'm saying? You can come in here and fine tune it. You see how I put the low shelf here, cut out a little bit here. And then I actually use this too as my high shelf EQ. So you see I put a high shelf EQ on this channel. And then on this channel right here, I use the reverb and the delay. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I got the vocals to sound like that. So let's check it out on the chorus now. So on the chorus, this is basically what the chorus is going to sound like. Let me go ahead and highlight that section of the chorus real quick. So this is what the chorus is going to sound like with just the 3 layers and no telephone on there.
Flows in the spot. These hoes know I'm hot. It shows what I got. Big bro when I box. I spit flows in the spot. These hoes know I'm hot. It shows what I got.
So you can hear immediately it made a difference in, you know what I'm saying, the way the vocals were sitting and everything like that in the beat. Now, once I come over here and I turn on the ad libs, go ahead and get over here real quick. Now, once I turn on the ad libs, it's going to sound like this.
Flows in the spot. These hoes know I'm hot. It shows what I got. Big bro when I box. I spit flows in the spot.
So you see how it's giving it that funky yeet, but when you hear everything in the song, you can't tell.
Flows in the spot. These hoes know I'm hot. It shows what I got. Big bro when I box. I spit flows in the spot.
So that sounds pretty cool too, in essence. Let's go ahead and mess with this though a little bit on vocals and just see what we can get. Again, I don't really, you already know, I'm like a boom bap producer and engineer. So I'm not going to be able to give you guys the craziest effects sounding on the vocals because it's not what I normally do.
From when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right. But Mace would change some shit if he could look.
So let's go ahead and pull up just telephone and let's see what we can do because we've got some cool stuff in here. So we've got like this choral effect. I like the aura.
From when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right. But Mace would change some shit if he could look at it in hindsight. I rhyme tight. Without the gems and jewels, still I shine bright. My rhymes like somebody hit you swiftly with a spine strike. Live on the scene like I'm reporting from the crime site. Addicted to this music like a coke and trying to find white. Get on the track, speak my piece, Mega Everest. Yeah, I'm staying high like I sleep on Mount Everest. Still the same nigga eating.
All right, so now we can start messing with other stuff too. So let's go ahead and come over here to our modulation. Let's throw some echo on this thing.
From when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right. But Mace would change some shit if he could look at it in hindsight. I rhyme.
Let's go to the next thing right here. So we got this ring modulation we can use.
From when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right. But Mace would change some shit if he could look at it in hindsight. I rhyme tight. With gems and jewels, shine bright.
So I'd probably use this on a chorus, or I would use this on like You know what I'm saying? Or like on some instruments and stuff, the ring modulation.
From when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight.
Then you have tape modulation too that we can throw on here.
From when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right. But Mace would change some shit if he could look at it in hindsight. I rhyme tight without the gems and jewels. So like,
all right, so now let's go to the front page, and like we can also do is let's see what it sounds like with some different tape types on there.
From when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right. But Mace would change some shit if he could look at it in hindsight. I rhyme tight without the gems and jewels, still I shine bright. My rhymes like somebody hit you swiftly with a spine strike. Live on the scene like I'm reporting from the crime site. Addicted to this music like a coke and trying to find white. Get on the track, speak my peacemaker Everett. Yeah, I'm staying high like I sleep on Mount Everest.
So we've kind of got a dope like effect right here. So this would sound better on the chorus. You know what I'm saying? Because like for your ad libs and stuff, it's going to come through telephony. It's going to give you a little bit of echo into the next sound, which is pretty solid. We can throw some reverb on here too. So let's go ahead and throw some, we've got shimmer. I'll just let you guys hear what the shimmer sounds like, but we'll probably go with the hall or the plate.
Used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right. But Mace would change some shit if he could look at it in hindsight.
That's kind of fire. Obviously I'm gonna probably prefer the plate reverb though. It's probably gonna play both the reverbs though.
From when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right. But Mace would change some shit if he could look at it in hindsight. I rhyme tight without the gems and jewels. So like,
I mean, that's fire. And then you got the dynamics, like I said, so you can throw some drive on this thing.
From when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right. But Mace would change some shit if he could look at it in hindsight. I rhyme tight without.
We've got saturation on this bad boy too, so we can get some saturation on here.
From when MCs used to battle just to get their mind right. When kicking raps was more than getting rich and chasing limelight. Now anyone can make it with promotions if it's time right. But Mace would change some shit if he could look at it in hindsight. I rhyme tight without the gems and jewels, still I shine bright. My rhymes like somebody hit you swiftly with a spine strike.
I mean, that's pretty fire to me too. So you got a whole bunch of stuff in here that you can mess with, you know what I'm saying, to get the job done as far as, you know what I'm saying, just coming up with some creative stuff. So I guess what are my final thoughts on telephone? Honestly, I think this is a pretty solid effect because there's not a lot of tape effects out there with tape emulations that have multi-effects that aren't just flanger, reverb, delay. You know what I'm saying? This has got a compressor, it's got EQ, it's got ring modulation, it's got 3 different reverb types, it's got the 2 different choral effects. So you got the aura, and then you got the other effect. I mean, it just has a lot in here. Drive, saturation. So it's got everything that you need to ultimately sculpt the sound. So I know the main focus of this is for like vocals and for like backup vocals. But fam, this thing is pretty dope on just creating beats and then just playing around because you can do some dope stuff. So that's what I got for you guys in today's video. Make sure if you guys do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. I appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Some, hit the key.